What have we got here? Lee proudly, please make this into a size W for me, please. Many thanks, Stephen, and a Merry Christmas. Well, I've just got a little envelope come through the post from one of my YouTube subscribers. I've also met him on the field on the Southern Detectorist dig down in Bridport, where that big hoard of 603 silver Roman coins came up. They've been declared treasure trove. Amongst them was some Serrato denarius, which are incredibly rare. I did meet Lee on that dig, and he asked me some questions about making a ring for him, and finally he's chosen a coin. Now I want you to see the state of that. It's actually a Victoria Gothic florin. I believe he dug that up. He hasn't cleaned it at all, so I'm going to show you the entire process now of turning this into a ring. It might go over 2 videos, this one, so I'll come back and complete it later if that is the case. So we're going to start off with this. I'm going to take you through the process of making this into a size W ring. So there's a shout out for you, Lee, because you're also a patron of mine as well. You support my YouTube channel as well in a different way to being just a subscriber. So this will soon be with you, pal. I just need to let you know I've still got a broken shoulder and ribs, and I'm going to be struggling with this, so be a bit patient with me, but I'll talk you through what I'm doing with it, and we'll start now. I'm going to try and avoid doing too many cuts in the video so you can see the entire process. I've not done this very often at all in my ring making videos, but I've been asked a few times if they can see the entire process. That's why it might actually go over more than one video. Now, because that's a silver coin, that's 92.5% silver, it is obviously a bit worn, but you know, you can't improve the quality of the coin by making a ring, but you can make it look really, really nice with what you've got. I don't want to ruin it. There is a chance that the coin will split on the first or second folding, although it's very unlikely with a coin that's 92.5%. The ones that do split are the 50%, which are 1920 to 1947, if they've been dug up. If they haven't been dug up, they don't split. There's something about the quality and the purity of that particular silver, and they tend to split. So first thing I need to do is to mark the coin with a Sharpie pen, and the reason I do that, well, some of you will know that already, is because the Sharpie pen vanishes when the silver is of the correct temperature, because one thing we don't want to do is have the silver melt. Let's just get this coin to the correct temperature. And the reason why we're doing that is to anneal the coin. Annealing is the process of just making the metal a little bit easy to work with. Just softens it a little bit, but as I said, you mustn't melt it, so that is why we use the Sharpie. That's coming on nicely. It's vanished now, so we'll just leave that. We could quench it in water, which usually hardens metal, but silver it doesn't really matter if you quench it or not. I'm going to leave that, and this is the reason why. I've just had that delivered to me, some coins from Neville. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 50% silvers. I think they're all George V. Oh, there's a George VI there, so that's going to be, that's a 39, so still 50%. They're all 50% silvers. On one of my earlier videos, if you've seen that one, I've told anybody who's a subscriber on my YouTube channel who becomes a patron, I will send them a ring with a massive 75% discount off. I'll just charge them a little bit to cover the cost of a bit of my time. You have to provide the coin, or I can provide the coin like that relatively cheaply. But there's also a way you can get free coin ring, and that's what Neville did. For every 3 silver coins you send me, I'll make you a ring from one of them and keep 2. So you can have a special ring made from something you've dug up. He sent me 18 50%ers because he hadn't got any full silvers, which is a shame. So he's going to be getting 2 custom made finger rings made from that lot. That's a lovely bunch of coins there. Thank you very much, Neville. Now you better see if that Gothic florin is cooled down. Let's have a look at it. Yep, that's cold enough to handle now, so I'll just get the centre punch and push the middle out of that. I'll show you how we do that next. Right, next stage. This is the hole puncher. I've got several methods I use, even from using a drill, various bits and pieces, but this is the most efficient. Basically what you do, the coin you put in has to fit exactly. Now it's not going to fit in there. There's too much space around the outside. You'll never get a dead centre with that. So what you do instead is use a shim. So you put a shim in, which takes up the space. Now, unfortunately, this coin being so old and worn, it's a bit loose and it wobbles. And that's not good because you need it 1/2 millimetre perfect. So instead, you put the shim in, put a bit of tissue paper, and we put the coin in the tissue paper. That takes up the slack. We're now going to put this piece in. It fits perfectly, except when you've got a piece of tissue in there, it's a bit tight. And then the cutting rod, as you can see, it's got a sloped edge and it's quite a sharp edge around the outside. You can always resharpen it on a grinding belt. The whole idea is that it must have a sloping edge so it doesn't go through flat, it goes through just gently from one side first. Now this is probably where my arm will let me down, so I'm going to have to be careful because it's, whoops, absolute agony, and I'm really clumsy at the moment because I'm not used to doing things on my left hand. There we go, contact. Now let's have a look. Now let's check out the coin. There we go. There's a hole. Perfect dead centre. Right. I'm just going to put these away and I'll come back and show you the next bit. I can't stress enough that the annealing process is very important and shouldn't be overlooked. It takes a little bit of time to anneal the coin and then wait for it to cool down, but it has to be done. Otherwise, you're talking here of a very, very beautiful coin, which doesn't look it at the moment, of course, and a unique coin, very old coin with lots of history. And if you skip this step and it cracks, splits on the first or second fold, all because you couldn't be bothered to take the time to do the annealing process, then you might as well not really bother. So you can see on there that the Sharpie is just vanishing, nearly gone. That's gone. So just give it a couple of seconds. Let that cool down. Right, it's cool enough now to touch. And now I've got a difficult job because I need 2 hands for this and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it. But I need to deburr that. You can just see there's a burr on the edge where it's pushed the centre out. I'm going to try and do it for you. You can just see it's nice and smooth now around that hole on that side. But on that side, look, it's still got some burrs. Now if we don't take the burrs off, it's going to cause the ring to split. And it might take a little while just to get these off. Right, next stage. That is called a folding block. And it's got all sorts of different size holes in there. That's the one we want, and the first thing we have to do is to make sure, because we've got metal on metal contact, that we lubricate. I'm using petroleum jelly. You can use all sorts of things. You just lubricate that in the mould, and the coin fits perfectly in there. Now I'm just going to check the coin. Oh yeah, here we go. You need to make sure that the side of the coin, you want to be on the outside of the ring band, is facing downwards in the block, and that it's level. There you can see, look how snug that is. And then we need to do the first fold. Now I'm going to do this left-handed because that's the only thing I've got left. Okay, this is where it could all go wrong. So I'm just going to do it halfway, stop, take the coin out, examine it for fractures. It looks okay. I think you can see on there, look, I think you can see on there that it looks okay. In which case I'll put it back in the block and we'll continue the second stage of the first fold. This is a one-tone vise. You can use it one-handed very easily indeed, so that's very lucky for me. And that should be the first fold now complete, and if we check that and keep our fingers crossed, then we won't have a split. Now at this point, if you were using a 50% silver British coin, which has been dug up only, you would have a split by now, and there wouldn't be anything you can do to prevent it. I've tried everything, annealing so many times and taking it the first stage of the fold in various slow stages, and it's still split. I've never had a success with one yet, but that is looking good. So now we move on to the next stage. Have you guessed what the next stage is? See, you can't afford shortcuts, so there we go. It'll start smoking now, but that's only because it's the petroleum jelly that's burning off. That Sharpie is fading. Gone, and we'll leave it there. So now I want to show you the next folding stage, and I'm going to be using that folding block. It's got a steep fold that side and it's got a shallower fold that side, more gradual. I'm going to be using that one. The coin ring goes into there, and we use this neoprene push just to do the second fold, which is to 17 degrees. Now you only use these with silver. If you've got anything like copper nickel, which is really hard, not soft like silver, you would use that. Otherwise you'll completely ruin these, and they are very, very expensive. Custom made, in fact. So almost ready. Let's put that steel one back. And again, we need some protection. Got metal on metal, so a bit more of the old petroleum jelly. There we go. Oops, still a bit warm, is it? Make sure that fits in there dead level. You can see how level that is, and the hole dead center, and that goes, let me just check that again, and that goes in the center like that. And now for the second fold. Right, here we go. We'll need to make sure that that neoprene push is absolutely dead center and vertical. If it's not, you're going to get a lopsided fold. So here we go, one-handed again. This I think can be done in one. Feels good. I think if it's split you would tell by now, because it wouldn't be tight towards the end, it would be very easy to do. And then we get that. Look at that from that side. And that's the second fold completed. Now I'm just going to check this for splits with the magnifying glass and I'll come back to you. Well, it looks like the first and second fold has been symmetrical. It's a uniform flared shape all the way around and there are no splits. So we can now go to the next stage, which is actually deciding what shape we're going to have this. Now, what I mean by shape is there are two classical shapes. One is called a fat tire. It looks like that. It's not terribly comfortable to wear, but it looks beautiful in photographs, even better. Or there's the straight wall. And the straight wall, let me just see if I've got an example of those in my box. Pretty sure I have. Yep, that is gold plated inside, is a Kookaburra dollar or $8 or something, 99.9% silver, and it's got a fat tire look. It does look very attractive, beautiful. This is in a US dollar and it's a flat, it's got a slight flare on it, but it's a flat wall. So I think perhaps, and that's a penny, which I've done silver, and that's a semi fat tire, not a pronounced fat tire. What's this one? That's similar. That's again a silver copper British penny, and again it's got a semi-fat tire look on it, not a straight wall. Right, so I think I'll probably go with a straight wall size W that Lee wants, so I'll show you how to do that now. The next stage, you've got it. We shouldn't have to do this anymore. We might possibly get another one, but I think the annealing now is probably at the end. We don't need to do any more. Okay, that lovely Victoria Gothic florin is now ready for the finishing stages, which is still quite time consuming, and I'll show you how that works. First of all, we need to use all these tools. That's a new die we're using, which gives it the straight wall, the ring sizer so we get the right size, size W, some plumber's tape, and of course metal on metal. We need to make sure we've got some petroleum jelly. But now we also use a ring stretcher. That's a ring stretcher, and when you pull that handle towards you, the 6 splines here expand and stretches the ring. When you push it back, the ring falls down. You turn it around a quarter of a turn. You do it again until you get roughly the size you're looking for. So I'll do that bit now. So that's UK size O. And W has to go right down there. Wow. It should do it fine. I'd hate to split it and lose it at this stage. Right, I'm going to do this with 2 hands. Just a little bit of a pull there, not a full one. Turn it 25%. And you can see it just creeping down that shaft. If I think I need to anneal it again to avoid it splitting, then I'll do it, and I'm getting that feeling. So let's just check that size, see where we are. You can see now it's much bigger. Right, we're now on V. We need to be there. Now realistically I need to make it a size and a half bigger, so it'll be X and a half to Y. Because of the shrinkage, I'm going to be putting it through this die, don't forget, which will push it back down again into a straight wall shape, and then I've got to expand it again. Now, so all that movement is going to cause friction and stress on the silver, so I am definitely going to give this another annealing. I simply cannot afford to take the risk of this coin splitting because it's not even mine. It was supplied by the owner, so I have to take extra care with it for that reason. If I split my own coin, that's not a problem. I can replace it if I've got one. But I mean, the Gothic florins, you know, are so incredibly beautiful and rare. You've not seen just how beautiful this coin is yet because it's such a state being dug up, and I've not cleaned it first, which I don't want to do. But if you check on the internet for Gothic florins and just see how beautiful they are. Right, we're there. Leave that to cool down. While that's just cooling down, I'm going to leave this part of the video here. I'm going to come back on part 2 of this video and finish it off for you. So when it's cooled down, I shall be stretching it that tad bit further, about a size and a half further, using that second die and the push to push it through. And what's this plumber's tape for? You'll find out. After that's completed, we then go through the final stages. That's the correct sizing, the polishing, and if it needs to be antiqued, because I'm not sure if he wants an antique finish yet, or a silver finish, or even silver with a gold plated 24 karat gold inside. I'm not sure what he wants, so I'm going to discuss that with him. So I'm going to come back with you later on in another video, part 2, and don't forget, if you do want one of these rings for yourself, send me a coin, see if I've got one. I might have what you want. I've got quite a lot of coins now in stock. 92.5, 99.9 and 50%ers. I won't really do anything less than that unless I'm forced to. And don't forget, if you send me 3 coins, silver coins, I'll make you a ring from one of them and send it back to you, and I can keep 2. And that money from those 2 rings will go to the charity. Sorry, did I just flick you a V then? Sure I didn't. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now. Smash that button. Catch you next video.
Steven is the man with the hat and a video camera. Making videos for you cause he's a YouTube creator. Always filming and editing scenes, ready to watch on all your screens. New videos every week, so please subscribe.